Warning, the following show features stunts performed either by professionals or under the supervision of professionals. Accordingly, the reality guys and producers must insist that none of these opinions be taken as facts. Now, please enjoy the show. Welcome back to the Reality Guys. I'm your first-time host, Waleed, joined as, first-time co-host as well, Kevin.
Hello.
And Brett.
What's up?
What's up, Brett?
And my other crush, Alyssa.
I know, man. I was saying before the show, actually move aside and make her visible as much as possible. Way better, way more attractive than you are, my man.
Yeah, I've been plugging. I've been plugging Alyssa from the current season of Big Brother, but of course we had her last year on Big Brother as well. What are the chances of getting two super hot Alyssas on the same show twice in a row?
Hey, no, good point.
She's cool. So is Angela, dude. Angela's fucking hot too.
Yeah.
Angela's hot too, but she's a boyfriend.
Hey, you know what? Yes, as you can see, this is probably the first Reality Guys episode without our two main co-hosts. Billy Blinks and Brian are usually at least one of them is on. But right now you have the single crew. Basically, those two are married and doing other things. And you got myself, Kevin, Brett here, and we're going to review the Challenge USA episode 9. What was it called again? Nevertheless, she persisted. Basically, guys, this was the, like the lines were drawn in the sand, basically, with the remaining women in the house. They started off the episode with an alliance that none of us have ever heard of, the Fab Five, basically going against Angela and Alyssa in this episode. And it got pretty interesting. Sarah, once again, the center of all the attention. I'm going to kick things off with that, guys. Let me know what you think of the overall dynamic of this episode. Kevin, I'll start with you.
I'll be honest, dude, I loved Sarah. I really did. I liked her on the fucking challenge. This today, I was getting annoyed with her. Dude, they're coming after you. Don't try and convince every single person to change their fucking plan so that you can be safe when you need to go in regardless. So, I don't know. I get it. I get, her frustration or, about it all, but don't go. She literally told every single person 4 times, hey, go after Angela and Alyssa. They're going to try and get me first. Yeah, dude, they've seen that. You're not the only smart one doing this challenge. The stuff with her when it comes to that stuff kind of.
Yeah, you could tell you could tell she definitely takes offense to it so much, even in the middle of the challenge. You could tell they're running by
everybody
her.
That she needs to tell them over and over again what's happening so that they can try and save her. And it's no, dude, we know what's happening.
I missed it, but was their plan established before they started of what they were going to do?
I think so. Yeah.
So they were planning to team up on Angela and Alyssa before, and then they just didn't do it.
But Angela and Alyssa knew what was going on. They knew that Sarah wanted them out, wanted one of them in last place. So they made it beforehand. They were just like, hey, we probably don't have a chance to win. At least let's get Sarah out and make sure she doesn't win. So that's
that's a smart move. Then Sarah don't get
I don't understand why Sarah was so upset to be the first one out, because she wanted in the elimination since last week.
Exactly.
So
either one way or another, you're going to get in the elimination. Yeah. But she also wanted to win because that's where you get a lot of cash. You get $5,000 in cash when you win the challenge. So she wanted to win, and that's just the competitor in her, I guess. But either way, it's you're going to get into.
Yeah, but even when you go into the challenge, the weakest person had 7,500.
Yeah.
End of the day, it's probably better that you lost, but money wise.
Yeah, I agree with that there for sure. Yeah, but anyways, the start, basically they were trying to establish the plan beforehand, and the challenge itself. What do you guys think about it? Connect 4 basically was the theme of this one, where the girls basically go and try to block. They run up these stairs. It's definitely one of those challenges where you can tell.
Well, they're in a stadium. They're in a 60,000.
Yeah, and then they go out to
60,000 seat stadium, and there's markers all over the place. You have to go grab them, grab yours, bring it back down. My first impression was this would fucking suck.
Yeah.
Like, you have a plan in mind, you go, you grab your own, you come back, and your board's just like you're like, oh, I'm winning this. I just need to get back down. And then you're fucked. And then not only that, it's like, oh, now I have to do this 3 more times. Like, it would be awful.
I'm not a big fan of like the games where they have the whole like, oh, team up on someone and eliminate them first, like that part of it. Because I like it just when everyone's running their own race strategically and they're not like, oh, let's gang up on somebody. Especially in something like Survivor where like you could get voted out anyway. So if someone gangs up on you and takes away your immunity, then you're screwed because they're just going to vote you out now too. But I like the challenge as far as like them running around the stadium because I think it's, you know, anything that really pushes them endurance and speed wise, you know, is just a perfect warm up for what they're going to see in the final. So I like that where they're just running around getting tired.
Yeah, that's how you felt kind of with the guys. I mean, it wasn't even the guys' elimination week, so you just felt like they were just playing the game just to, you know, and at the end of it, you know, Danny ended up winning for the guys. So good for him. He got more cash in his account.
Yeah.
And for the girls, the winner, I think it was first time, I think it was her first challenge that she won. It was Desi, actually. So one of the Fab Five won. So you think they're going to be in a good position going into deliberations that they're going to get the girls that they want, that the girl that Sarah wants to get into the elimination. That's where things took a turn for the worse, I guess, in that case for Sarah. She didn't end up getting the girl that she wanted because Danny, who's part of the Survivor Alliance, basically stood in the way. So what'd you guys think about Danny's, I guess, politicking there to try and save Angela and Alyssa and get her to turn on her own alliance?
You got to repeat that. You froze there for.
Yeah. No, I was saying, so like, what do you guys think about Danny?
Well, you froze when it got to describing what Danny's politicking was. So.
Yeah, so basically Danny stood in the way of the plan that Sarah had to get Alyssa and Angela into the elimination. So basically got Desi to turn on her own alliance of the Fab Five. So what do you guys think about the game plan there and his politicking, basically saving the Survivor Alliance of guys in the house?
I mean, I think it was good on his part, obviously, because Danny got what he wanted, but I think like he basically betrayed the Survivor girls. So I don't know if they how they feel about that or if they even noticed because the Survivor girls, well, I guess he tried to convince Desi that the Survivor girls are part of the Survivor guys Big Brother alliance, but they're really not. So I mean, he easily flipped Desi right against her Fab Five girls. So that just shows how strong, you know, a group of women together is.
And then in this episode, I mean, it was definitely one of the weaker examples of that for sure.
Well, you know, when like they host or like the 2 winners go up and they like picked or whatever, have they ever discussed what would happen if they picked opposite sides, or would it go back to like they've done in the past where it's like, all right, either you two got to come up with something or one of you has to go in type of thing?
That's exactly what I thought was going to happen. I thought Danny was going to stick to his guns and Desi was going to like try to stick to hers, and then they were going to threaten Desi and say, "Hey, look, it's a girls' elimination. If you can't side with Danny or come up with something, you're going in." And then at that point, she would have flipped. But it didn't even come.
Well,
yeah.
But I don't know. At the end of the day, it really didn't fucking matter. It really didn't. Other than Sarah getting a couple, probably double what she got. Versus who she go against? What's her name?
Cachet.
Cachet.
Who had like 7,500 versus if she went after like Alyssa or whoever had just like somewhere around like 60.
I think Sarah 100% would have lost to Angela. She might have been able to beat Alyssa.
I really do. Like.
Oh, I agree. I agree 100%. I agree 100%. It would have been closer. I mean, this was like non-eventful. I mean, I guess we'll get right into the elimination. It was called In a Roll. Basically, these girls are in a spinning wheel, basically, and they have to like run as fast as they can. And kind of a hamster wheel, basically, like and basically whoever ran the fastest was going to unwind their I guess the rope that was attached to the ball, and when it gets attached to their part of the cage, I guess, then best 2 out of 3 basically. So the way this started, though, you knew Sarah was going to win. I mean, Cachet couldn't even get the wheel rolling, basically, at the beginning, and you were like, "This is over." I mean, and that's
although I'll say, I bet it would have been different. Like, she started that first one, Cachet couldn't even get shit rolling, literally.
Yeah.
And Sarah like beat her, obviously. Yeah. But then the next one, they were like relatively close.
They were, yeah, but at the same, but then again, it's like, you know, you could tell at the very end of it, she was gassed. So like for a girl who claims that she runs a lot and things, it's like, oh man, she's already gassed. It's over. You know, so I mean, that's the thing. I actually do like the dynamic of the game now. Now that every person is out for themselves, the eliminations are now one-on-one instead of having teams. Because now I feel like you get to see what these competitors are made of. You know, like when they're by themselves. Like even in I think Leo was paired with two strong girls in eliminations and won both of them. Last week, he was by himself for the first time. You saw what he was made of. He got pushed over like a chump, basically, which I know, Kev, you enjoyed, you know, a lot. So, I mean, yeah. So, I mean, I like it when it's one-on-one. I don't like it when it's team eliminations like that usually.
I agree. Especially both genders being on the like there's a reason there's softball and baseball. There's a reason that there's men's lacrosse and women's lacrosse. Like, you know what I mean? Like it doesn't add up. So like being able to, and I think we're all on like the same page here when it comes to just like the best person overall should win. And for the best person overall to win shouldn't have any sort of like, oh, this girl like did it much better versus me in this challenge, or versus my girl in this challenge, which gave me a disadvantage. So like, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I hate the team elimination because like
I'm basically aligning with Waleed
here. Yeah. I don't want to like go into elimination and have like a super weak girl, you know, weighing me down. I'd rather just have it all on me. Yeah. I do wish though that since they separated the eliminations that they would give us 2 an episode. Like I wish it was a guy eliminated and a girl eliminated every episode, and they did the same thing.
That's what they need to do. That like at this point, that's what they need to do, because, and they probably should have a season where like that's just how it is.
Yeah, they've done that in the past.
Have like 64 fucking people.
Yeah, I mean it gets to the point too. Like how many people are going to run the final? Like there's still 6 girls and 6 boys left, 6 guys left in the house. There's 12 total. So it's like, are they trying to get down to three aside, basically? 6 people run the final total. So if that's the case, then I mean, how many more episodes do we have? Like if they're just going to do one elimination and go back and forth every other week, basically. I don't know. I mean, that's going to be interesting to see how many people run the final.
They might have a purge at some point. I always liked when they brought up the purges in the challenge.
That is a good point. Yeah. Hopefully they
get rid of, do like a daily challenge, but you're eliminated if you're last.
Yeah, I do love that.
I do like that too. Yeah. You never know. TJ Lavin always has a surprise or something up his sleeve in these shows. So I'm expecting another one or 2 for the rest of the season. So moving forward, it should get interesting. But in the meantime,
I hope this I was gonna say, I hope the cash thing, like the money they've earned, like somehow comes into play, like we were talking about last week with buying stuff. Because I mean, at this point, everybody has money and is qualified. So it was almost like, what was the point of doing this to begin with? Because
Sarah did.
What's that?
Sarah did.
Well, I mean, after this episode, though, everyone has enough money, and we still have several episodes left. So it's not like one of those things.
Here's my question, and I did have this when I was thinking. Like, do they actually get this money? Like,
is it like part of the pot at the end of the thing? Because I'm sure it's
right. Remember at like the beginning challenges would be like, oh, you have this pot, you could lose it, blah blah blah. But like what is it? Or is this just like? I guess they're using dollars as points to like get that.
Yeah, well, I guess it remains to be seen. I mean, moving forward, I mean,
like if Alyssa has $16,500, like $16,500 going into the final, does she get that?
I guess we'll find out. I mean, you know, at this point,
I don't think we will. That's like, I think that's the issue. Like, I don't think we ever will.
I mean, if you have to have a certain amount to run the final, I'm assuming that it's going to have something that there's something going to be at play with it in the final. I'm going to assume, but I could be wrong, of course. But I mean, I think that it's going to have something to do with the final. If you don't have the money, then you can't even run the final. So that money that you're earning has to have something to do with whatever the final.
It better be like.
So yeah,
Maybe if you make it to the
what
final.
I would like it to be is like, all right, you have this much amount. You can either get, and like this is very like a very drastic idea of what I'm thinking of, but like, all right, we're gonna have a biking session. You can either have a mountain bike, you could have a road bike, you could have a BMX bike, or you can have a fucking dirt bike. What do you want to spend this money on? And you get through that leg, and then it's the eating challenge where it's like you can buy this a macaroni and cheese versus like a fucking bull testicle. You could, but like the fucking the
That
price
seems way too complicated.
oh no, Kev, what do you even
What do
say?
you mean? What do you mean? You have a bet.
I bet the money is honestly gonna like not matter anymore. Like it was something they did at the
That's
beginning,
what I'm saying.
and
This
now
is
it's just gonna
stupid.
go
Like,
away. Like it doesn't matter.
Saying. It's stupid. It's dumb. What's the fucking point of it? That's what I'm trying to say. So, but if you have like a shitload of money and you could use that to go into every challenge moving forward at the final and make it as easy as possible for you, then that's a whole fucking different story. So it's like, oh, dude, I have more money. I can use this to buy mac and cheese instead of fucking bull testicles. But like, you have to strategically like go through the whole thing. You know what I mean? Yeah, I know that's not gonna fucking happen, but that's the way it fucking should be. It makes 0 sense to raise fucking money and then get there and it's like, oh, good job. You guys got like a 20-minute head start. You have $16,000. This person has 5,000. Like it makes no sense.
Yeah. Guess it remains to be seen. I mean, what's going to happen moving forward? TJ is going to probably him. He's good. He's going to let everyone know what that money is going to have in play moving forward. So, but that does it for our review of the Challenge USA episode 9. Moving forward, be on the lookout for more content from the Reality Guys channel. We're going to be covering the remainder of this season of The Bachelorette. We're covering Big Brother. We're covering, of course, the shows that are coming out in September, The Amazing Race, as well as Bachelor in Paradise and a new season, which are coming. And also be on the lookout for some more F-Boy Island interviews. Those have been great. But in the meantime, for myself, Kevin, Brett, it's our first time. Thank you. Have a good night and peace.